Oh, we're off to a flying start there. Hold on. Two people are watching, and the cameras just fell off the tripod there. Well, the phone, I should say. And also, why are we lopsided now? Oh, I think we're here. I think we're here. Let's go over to YouTube anyway. And see what we can see. Here we go. We'll see if anyone's commented. There's Mark Punt. Yes, right. We're here. Okay, cool. Tom says, "Yo, right, okay, so we are fully engaged here, right? First of all, welcome to the 2,000 subscriber piss up. If we're all drinking tonight, let me know. I've got Diet Coke in the background there, and that is to go along with this special edition bottle of Jack Daniels. But for now, we're starting off with an ice cold can of Heineken, and God knows I need it today." Ewan's Auto Escapades. Oi, oi. Yeah, oi, oi, indeed, mate. How are we? We'll give it a couple of minutes for everyone to gather. Alfie Naylor's already had four. Four what? Let me know. That's good. The reason I do look like shit, to be honest, and I thought this year as well. Last year it was on the iPad, so the quality was a bit grainy. So I thought this year I'll do it on my phone, so the quality's not as bad. And I've been in the sun all day, appraising cars. I haven't even had the chance to have a shower or nothing. The plan was tonight to do the 4 pints, lovely. The plan was to do the live stream at 8 o'clock to give me a chance to get in from work, have a shower, have a drink. So I literally came in and, I'm at home in my mum and dad's house. I don't live in my mum and dad's anymore. And I'd done the live stream last year from my mum and dad's house. But I'm home this week because they're away and my brother is having a party tonight. So at some point in the live stream, there might be a big emergency and a 17-year-old kid comes projectile vomiting into the room, or someone set the house on fire or something. But it's a great turnout tonight for my brother's gaff. I don't know if it's going to be a big turnout for the live stream, who knows? But yeah, he seems to have a lot of friends, more than I've ever had, to be fair. But so plan is ask your questions or leave your comments, whatever. There's no pressure. I'm trying to do it like last year, where it's all just very relaxed. I know, like, people set themes and that, and say you can only ask questions about this and you can't ask. But if you've got any questions, let me know. And if you answer them, we'll go on for as long as you kind of want to go on. But I'll just give you this little piece of advice. If you want to ask a question that you're not sure I'm going to answer, it's best to ask it later on, because I'll have had more drinks then, especially when we move on to the good stuff over here. So while you all think of some, Terry Butler, yes, hello, all a bit of that. 8 people watching so far, 4 minutes in, that's lovely. We're 50% up there, I guess. So while everyone's joining and people are thinking about what to say and things like that, I'll answer some questions that I've received on Instagram and YouTube, the video I put on YouTube, and we'll discuss from there, I guess, and see how far we go. So Tommy says, hey Matty, congratulations on reaching 2,000 subscriber mark. Thank you very much, and I hope you keep making such great content. Stop it. So he's got a couple of questions for me here, and he says, what do you reckon some of the most common mistakes people make when buying or selling a used car? and how can these be avoided? Selling a used car, definitely the biggest mistake that people make, which puts me off as a buyer sometimes, is photographs. It's like they just go out literally when it's like drizzling with rain and take a really mad, like shoehorned sort of photograph because the car's like shoehorned into the driveway, or like that, and it just makes me go, well, that's a dog, even if it may not be a dog. So that's the biggest mistake I can think of with people that sell cars, is just completely neglecting the photographs of it, because that is, photographs sell cars. There's absolutely no doubt about that. Buying cars, mistakes that people make, I think, is a little bit of a harder one, because it depends on what you're buying and what your expectations are. So if you're buying like a 2016 plate car from a dealership, then you don't have to worry as much. I mean, you can't go in blind. If the car's got a scratch on, you're obviously going to say, okay, well, could you do anything with that scratch? Or if it's got like a hole in the seat, or you can tell that the bodywork isn't very good, then that's up to you to say, well, are you going to do anything about that? But in terms of like buying a car like that from a sort of dealership sort of scenario, you've got more rights, as in like they offer, like they say the car's been through an inspection, they say that you can get a warranty, they are obliged to give you some sort of not sort of money back guarantee, but some sort of warranty should anything go wrong. So there's more likely with that you can just be missold if anything was to go wrong. But if you're buying like a car off marketplace, then it depends on your expectations, doesn't it? Because if it's a 100,000-mile Skoda, then you're not going to say don't buy it because you make the mistake there because it's got a scratch. Of course, like if it's 100,000-mile Skoda X Taxi, then you're going to have some. It's going to be entitled to some wear and tear. But I'd say mistakes when buying a car that people make, definitely service history, because it's just so easy to forget about service history. Such an easy mistake to make, to buy a car, come home with it, and think, hang on, has that got service history? I've not done it myself before, but I've kind of sort of neglected it until, hang on, mate, has it got any? No, oh, it's a bit patchy. Oh, okay. And the reason I say that is because if a car's got service, it doesn't matter how many miles a car's done. I always say mileage means nothing. If you get a car with a decent engine that's done high mileage, it doesn't matter as long as it's got service history. And a lot of people will either buy a car that's got no service history, which, as we all know, we're all car guys here, that can lead you to a world of pain. It can, you know what I mean? Or they are put off by a higher mileage vehicle, even though it's got service history. You know what I mean? So I'd say service history, big thing to look for. If you've watched Car Throttle, then they say themselves, check for milky residue on the oil cap. That's a given. That's a common mistake that people make, because a lot of people who don't know about cars buy a car without even looking under the bonnet, which just blows my mind. The engine is the car, basically. What other mistakes is there? I'd say really just making sure that you're aware that this car isn't a complete bin, and you don't have to be into cars to see that a car is a write-off, or has been a write-off, or has been in an accident, I should say. It either is a write-off or it isn't, and you're meant to declare that, but some people don't. So I'd check for panel gaps. I think people miss that a lot. If the car's off colour, number plates are odd, big one. Tell if a car's been in a crash. But having said all this, it really depends on how much you're paying for this car, what it's going to be for you. If it's going to be like your pride and joy for the next, then yeah, check all that. But if it's something like the Peugeot 205 I had, where I checked it and I could tell that the front end had a smash, but it weren't high on my priority list. Then yeah, I guess it all depends on your priorities. Got a couple more questions here, so if you've got any yourselves, get them into me, and I'm not ignoring your comments. I will catch up to them. I'm just letting a sort of backlog build up a little bit. Really good question here, to be fair. How do you think the concept of car ownership is evolving, considering the upsurge in ride sharing services? So I guess Uber. What's the other one where you can car share with people? And subscription models. So how do you think the concept of car ownership is evolving? Car ownership isn't evolving, is it? I think in 10 years' time, everything is going to be, new and nearly new. Everything is going to be leased and or on finance, because it's sad but true. It's a sad reality that buying a car in cash and owning it, unless you're going to keep it and keep it and keep it, it's really not worth it. But people don't want to keep the cars. They the idea of upgrading is a much more attractive proposition. So I think basically that everything's going to be leased. No one's going to own it. Nobody owns the cars now, new cars anyway. I think though that when it's strange, there come a point just after COVID where car prices were that high that people who were coming to the end of their finance agreements couldn't actually afford to upgrade, because their car was worth more than it is now, but a newer car was even higher up the pecking order, so they couldn't really afford to swap into something better or on par, because the prices just went crazy. And I was going somewhere with this, but I don't know. I think the used run around 10 years old sort of car and older, people will always own them. I think there'll always be a bit of a demand for them as well. The demand for like older used cars has really, really skyrocketed, especially small automatics as well. If you can get one of them, first of all, they're like gold dust, and if you can sell one, you can get a lot of money for them. Yeah, it's a pretty straightforward question, that one. How is it going to evolve? It's just going to be people living above their means and financing and leasing cars. But where this guy said about the ride sharing subscription services, the upsurge in ride sharing services, yeah. I'd have to look into that more. I don't know really about car sharing services, because it's a good idea, isn't it, on the face of it? It is a good idea, but then I always think, well, if I was car sharing with someone I was in like an agreement with, like, what if they just said, oh, I'm sick today, so there's your transport like completely gone in a matter. You really have to rely on someone, which is why I think the car will always be king in some sense. Maybe not in the likes of London, because really London's had that much money pumped into it. Is that great now that you don't need to drive in London anymore, even if you lived in, I don't know, Surrey or somewhere, or the surrounding area. You don't really have to drive, do you? You can get a train, or you can get the tube, and the transport's that good. And I'll tell you something as well, Manchester's going that way as well. Manchester is getting an awful lot of Tory money pumped into it. Make of that what you will, but I don't think Liverpool, where I am, will ever get any of that because of the Conservatives. Any Conservatives on tonight? We'll have a heated debate. Fuck cars. We'll do politics instead. I'm only joking, but we can talk about whatever as long as it doesn't get too nasty, I guess. And the final question I've got here, which is I think is a brilliant question as well. How do you see the future of classic cars with the growth of electric and autonomous vehicles? I think that the classic car market will always only be as strong as the owners. So I think there will always be like a classic car scene. And there's always been that great discussion, that great debate, hasn't there? As like the cars that we think are shit now, will they become classics in the future? Like, for example, people my age, we got taken to school in Mark 1 Zafiras and Citroen Zara Picassos, and look at the Zara Picasso now. It's becoming a sort of bit of an icon, and you may think I'm a little bit premature with that, but really, honestly, it is, and it will become one. You know, what was it like? What was it called? The school? Someone put a thing on the school run basher or something like that. It is starting to get like a little name for itself as a bit of a nostalgic sort of thing, and is right. Do you know what I mean? Is right. Like it will do that. So that makes you think, doesn't it? That the cars that kids are getting taken to school in now, or where like Mark 1 Qashqais, are they gonna be? We think they're shit. They are. They're SUVs. They're, you know, but the kids who were getting taken to school in them, they're not going to look at it that way. They're going to see it as a piece of their youth. So that's where I think the classic car market will always keep going. Cars are, though, getting more soulless now, especially, you know, I love electric cars, but without trying to be controversial, electric cars, there's a lot less to them, and they are becoming a little bit more clinical and a little bit more soulless. So I'm just wondering whether that may kill an element of classic sort of status in, we're looking at 30 years time, aren't we, really? 40 years time. And I'm just seeing as well, yeah, so that's with the electric and autonomous vehicles. I think that will probably crush a little bit of the market, but there's always manufacturers, aren't there? I know the best ones that like were really passionate about cars have gone and went bust, but there's still manufacturers now who are into cars and are passionate about cars and want to make a good car. Someone like Tesla, no, that's a business plan. They don't want to make great cars or whatever. But I don't know, someone like Porsche or people like that, they're still experimenting. They're still making cars that they want to impress the owners, the people that drive them. They want to make good cars. And a final point about this question, and if you've forgotten because I'm going on, how do you see the future of classic cars? When I said at the start, can you hear the 17-year-olds at the party there? See if they, you know. Oh yeah, we can hear a couple of girls laughing there. The party must be going great down there. Look at all of us sat drinking here, and there's something's afoot down there. But yeah, the final point on that with classic cars is that I think time just does move on, doesn't it? I love classic cars. I love cars, but I'm not into pre-war cars. It's just not my thing. It's pre-war car sort of ownership is only going to stay alive if there's the likes of people my age, a bit older, a bit younger, who are getting into them. And if there isn't enough of them, then the appeal is just going to die out. So to answer this bloke's question, classic cars, is it going to live on? It will live on, but only if, you know, it's only going to live on as long as we're interested. So while I've been talking, hello to everyone that's joined anyway. If you've left a comment, I will say hello to you and things like that. Hello? Hello? Hang on. This is too much. I'm yeah. I tell you what, these... when you were 17, did you ever remember causing this much trouble? I'm on a live stream, and, you know, I've informed my little brother about this, but he thinks, I know, I'll just take the kids up to he should be entertaining, he should be doing food, they should be doing drugs and music, but, oh, I don't know, we'll have a tour of the house. Yeah, if you've left a comment, I'll address it as we go on. But we'll see what we've got here. I think the kids are leaving us now. I don't want one of those repeat things of BBC News. I'm always going to be as well a little bit behind with the comments, so maybe in about 15 minutes time you'll always all be laughing at me for me jumping up, go, don't come in the room, I'm on a live stream, 2,000 subscribers, and I'll eventually find out what your reaction is. I just knew that would happen. Right, let's see what we've got here then. A few comments and questions. Ewan's Auto Escapades. Car failed its MOT today, so as you can imagine, I'm already half cut. We love to hear it. What car are you driving at the minute, Ewan, and what has it failed on? I've got some car news myself. If anyone can guess what it is, if you found out via Instagram, comment below, and that might sort of get the ball rolling. Sale of Goods Act. I'm from a trader. Ah, right, Terry Butler there. So that was when we were on about people being missold. Yeah, sales of Goods Act indeed. I think you have to sell a car with a warranty now if you're a dealership. Is that right? If you're a proper dealership, like not just sort of back street. Alfie Naylor, not for me. The idea of upgrading, not for me either, mate. Really, I mean, I do love an upgrade on an older car. Like, I was in the market for a saloon, and that was a kind of an upgrade on my Saxo, which I kept. But in terms of like, I have to have the latest thing now. Absolutely not. No. Alfie Naylor as well. Leicestershire's worse. Trust me. Worse for what? What were we on about there? Were we on about? What were we on about there? You'll have to remind me on that. That is one of the disadvantages of being a little bit behind. But I wanted the questions to build up. Tell you what, the only problem with all this talking and me having to do all of the talking is that I'm hardly drinking and I'm hardly getting half cut like you. Bloody hell, 16 Valver is on. He's well, I know exactly who he is. I'm just trying to dumb it down for anyone that doesn't know who 16 Valver is. He's the bloke that does the beautiful feature-length videos on, his cars, but he's also making a habit of buying every single car of the year. 16 Valver, while you're on, if you're still watching, I'll give you actually, do you know what? I think I've sold the car, but if I don't, get on me because I've got the car of the year from 1996. Can you guess what it is? You should know that. I'm testing you there. If you see me looking down, I'm looking at the iPad. I don't know if it's worth putting it over here to get the comments. But yeah, thanks very much for your kind comment there, 16 Valver. And I'm so glad that you're here as well. That's another celebrity joining us here on Matty's Cars on a Friday night as well. I mean, you could be doing anything now. You could be downstairs at my little brother's party, but you know. Jan Laws might also become more controlling with electric cars. My guess would be maybe control speed limit via software update, etc. Well, that's kind of happening, isn't it? Where it's was it speed limiters on cars, and you have to a little bit like stop start, where you have to deactivate it every time. It is getting that way where there's a bit of a sort of nanny state about cars. I mean, I hate cars now where I've experienced it in Mercedes, and I'm not talking new Mercedes. I'm talking like 4-year-old Mercedes-Benz cars. And you're driving down the road, and there's a bus at the bus stop. So you just get up to the bus, get behind the bus, not too close, like, but you're driving towards the bus at maintaining normal speed. Check your mirror, round the bus, and it beeps and like to tell you to stop as though you're going to crash into the bus. No, I'm not going to crash. I'm just driving. You know what I mean? And we are getting controlled on me. And the cars that when you don't indicate to change lane because there's absolutely nothing on the road behind you, you don't indicate to change lane, and the car goes and fucking turns the wheel back like that, and it's like, hang on, who's the driver here, you or me? Right, that's that crushed. We're going to move on to the stronger stuff now. We're on the lovely Jack Daniel's Cup. We are having it with Coke, I'm afraid. I've got kids to look after. They're very early on into their sesh. But there's someone in my life who's Irish who thinks that sort of measure is a tiny measure. It's not, is it? So, we're going to have this with a splash of Diet Coke. And it's the Kate edition as well. Who's that? We don't know. Going off cars for a minute as well. Does anyone hate how the new Coke bottles do that? I know we're saving the planet and that, but Right, so we're on to the next one now. Alfie Naylor again. Yeah, I can't get into British Leyland. I'm assuming it means era. I guess Hammond's traumatic story played a bit of an influence. There's this thing about British Leyland. I feel like I'm sort of the diplomat on British Leyland, especially on the YouTube and Instagram scene, because I know and love and watch YouTubers who are really, really heavily into British Leyland, who will not hear a bad word said about them. And I I see both sides. There is absolutely no denying when you have a corporation like that, where there was so much strike and so much, um, such low budgets and such lack of quality control and such low morale in the workplace. You cannot tell me that there were cars that slipped through the net, that there weren't cars that slipped through the net that were absolute lemons. Do you know what I mean? And when I say some, I mean probably thousands that slip through the net. And with that comes the bad reputation. Do you know what I mean? So it's no good telling us, 50 years on or whatever it is from British Leyland to saying the cars weren't terrible. Datsuns were just as bad, and Fords were just as bad. Cars from that era had the same problems. They all rusted. They all had sort of tick over problems and things like that. To my knowledge, anyway. You know what I mean? They were all choked. You had to pull the choke and things like that. So there was always problems. And I think, yeah, British Leyland do get a bad rap. They probably get a worse one than, like, say, the Ford Cortina, which in some cases probably was just as unreliable. But don't tell me that the cars were absolute minters, because they weren't. Do you know what I mean? But having said that, I still like the people who are passionate about British Leyland. I just no, it doesn't appeal to me either. Alfie Naylor, a British Leyland car. Maybe something. Actually, no, I tell a lie. I do like the Rover SD1. My granddad had one of them. I do like them, and I do like Maestro's Montegos as well. But we're talking like a little bit sort of later on there. We're talking like Austin Rover there, aren't we? That's a little bit later on. Ewan's Auto Escapades again. I'm cutting about 2 cars at the moment. Modern Mini hatch for the commute. Then I've got my classic Mini, which failed on exhaust emissions and a shite handbrake. What you've got there, mate, is a bad MOT station, or an MOT station that clearly you haven't got much of a relationship with, because emissions you can turn a blind eye to, and handbrake, wouldn't they have just tightened it for you and then, sort of, I don't know, maybe because I don't know, I forget that because I'm in the motor trade, I get treated different to Joe Public, but I would have expected that they'd have done something for you there. Do you know what I mean? It's like when people fail MOTs on bulbs. Why? It's just as quick for you to put a bulb in and get the MOT off your ramp. But anyway, I'm not sure if I've got any more questions. We've got 5 people watching. It was about public transport, so it's worse in Leicestershire than it is in Liverpool. Is that right? Is that right? Liverpool public transport, awful, really. Not just because it's underfunded and shit like that, but it's very it's just badly laid out. There's a lot of shit links, really. We've got as well. We've got 1,000 subscribers more than last year. Watch like here, but I'm sure we've got less people watching than last year. I might have to replay last year's live stream. So either we've got 1,000 more subscribers, but they're all sort of dead accounts who subscribe but aren't really interested at all, or people have thought, well, the live stream last year was that shit that nobody wants to come back for the second time round. We'll spice it up a bit. Actually, spice it up a bit. There's 4 people watching. I'm not sure if the 4 people watching already know, but are we all aware? I have bought the best looking car of, I'd say, the past 30 years. Best looking. Oh, yeah. Someone's found out because they've dropped out there. We've got 3 loyal people watching the live stream. So the 3 people who might already know, I bought the best looking mainstream car of, in my opinion, of the past 20 years. Yeah. Fiat Brava. What do we all think? What do the 3 of us? There's literally 4 of us here. What do we think? Is anybody still here? Jan, what is the update on the Saxo? I have one as well. Okay. The update on the Saxo is there's actually an ownership update coming out soon. I've edited the video. It's all ready to go. But there's another video that I want to put out beforehand. The update on the Saxo, I'll let you into a little secret, is because there's only 4 of us watching anyway. The Saxo, I've still got it, but I've took it off the road. I'm using my Fiat Brava at the minute. I'll be using that until the end of July. I'll be at Festival of the Unexceptional in the Fiat Brava. But I've took the Saxo off the road because my younger brother, who is having the party tonight, who was about 5 minutes ago giving a house tour, and I'm like, shut the fuck up. He's learning to drive, so I thought, well, that would be a perfect little car for him. And I know that he doesn't want it permanently. He would rather have something else. So he's going to have it temporarily until he gathers enough money together to buy himself a car of his own. So it's that's it. He's going to be using it, keeping it ticking over for me. And that's the update with the Saxo. But she's doing fine. She's nearly at 100,000 miles. So when we get to 100,000 miles, I think I'm going to do like a sort of, one of my funny sort of special videos on that. We'll do a little funny on that. But yeah, that's the update with the Saxo. I'm currently, or I will be at the end of July. I'll be in the market for a new car. Let me know what you think I should get. But I'm in the market. I think I'm in the market for another saloon. I think that's what I'm after. Small hatchbacks at the minute. They're just not practical for me, or not enough room in them. Make of that what you will. But I think I'm in the market for another saloon, and I'm looking at a Lexus IS 200. I do love them cars, the baby Lexus as they were called at the time, and I am really considering one of them. As much as they drink the juice and prices are sky high at the minute, I am after one of them. Yeah. A few more comments here. Also, Jan, forgive me as well. I thought that was like the start of your question before. It turns out that it's your name. Let me know about your Saxo. What Saxo have you got? Have you got a standard 1 litre? Have you got a VCR, VTS? What's it like? Ewan's Auto Escapades. He's still here. He knew about the Brava. He's one of the 4 people that are watching. Do us a favour, Ewan. Add this to your story and see if anyone comes along, because let me tell you, this time last year, or it was late 2021, I think, when the last live stream was, and I hit 1,000 subscribers. I definitely had more people watching, and it definitely did go on for longer than this one ever will. Yeah, maybe I just need to stay on forever and just get really drunk, and eventually people will be entertained. Or maybe it's a lovely summer's night and most people want to be outside in a beer garden or in the garden. Got to love the Brava. Yes, fantastic car. Fantastic car. And let me tell you something, Ewan, about the Brava, is that I have been after one of them for years. My uncle had one, and I've always thought they were a good-looking car. And eventually, I realised I was in a position to buy one, so I just kept looking. And it was last winter, November. It come up on Marketplace, and it was the first one I'd seen for sale in the country ever since I'd been looking. So it just come up on Marketplace for really, really cheap. But it was low mileage. It had MOT. But it was this bright pea green color, and I don't like the color. But I said I will have to have it. And you know what? It is a sensational car. It drives average. The way it drives is merely average, Ewan, but it looks fantastic, and every other part of it is brilliant. It doesn't mirror any of the Fiat stereotypes at all. And sometimes though, when you are driving it, you think I'd rather be on the outside looking in, because it is such a fantastic looking car, and I cannot stress that enough. I'll be seeing you. This is Ewan's Auto Escapades again. I'll be seeing you at Festival of the Unexceptional. Never actually done it before. So excited to see how it goes. Will you be in your Mini, Ewan? Will you? And yes, if you're at, mate, it'd be lovely to meet you. To be fair, you've been on the podcast and that, and you've obviously got a sense of humour. So it would be absolutely fantastic to meet you. Yeah, will you be going in your Mini? Is my question to you. And also, if you've never been to Festival of the Unexceptional, it's brilliant. It was my first time going last year, and I absolutely loved it. I don't know where you're from. I know you're from down south, but if you've got long to travel and you are bringing your own car, my advice is to book a hotel the night before or the night after, because I didn't last year. So I got up at 4 a.m, drove to Lincolnshire, had the whole day at the show in the sunshine, got back in my car, drove home, and by the time I got home, I was just so tired and sunstroked and ill. Like, I was throwing up and stuff like that. Like, I'd bitten off more than I could chew. So my advice would be book a hotel if you're having to travel from afar, and also bring your own food on the day, because the food's okay. There just isn't a lot of choice. You know, if you want a burger, and if you want to queue up for a burger in the blazing sun, then fine. But I would personally bring my own food. And if Mike Brewer's going again, then stay away from him for sure. You're keeping this going, you, and it's absolutely brilliant. Excuse me. You're keeping the live stream going single-handedly. But yeah, it will be lovely to see you at Festival of the Unexceptional. I loved it as well last year, the way people just kept coming up to me going, "Are you Matty's cars?" And I was like, yeah. Like, I was more like thrilled to see them than they were to see me. What else have we got? We've got Jan back here as well. It is a Saxo 1.1, normal one, 5 doors, just like mine. I changed the gearbox entirely, but it's still acting up on second gear. Need to look into that. What do you mean by acting up? It sounds like you've done a lot there, though. Change the gearbox entirely. I'm assuming you've done the linkage, because linkage is a common fault on Saxos. It went in mine, and honestly, Jan, it cost me about a tenner to repair and replace the gear linkage, and that was from a garage as well. You know what I mean? It really was so cheap to get the gearbox repaired, which is just uncanny, really, because once a gearbox goes in, like, say, a modern car, that's it. You know what I mean? 6 people watching. Very nice, very nice. Keep your comments coming. All 6 of you. 7 likes, 6 people watching. Beautiful. Ewan's Auto Escapades back again. Mate, if I did a 3-hour drive in the Classic, I'd have no spine or eardrums left. Yeah, but, you know, it's all part of the fun. And are you 3 hours away? Yeah, definitely book a hotel. Whether it's the night before or the night after, definitely book a hotel, honestly. So I guess then that means no. How have we got 9 likes in the past 30 seconds, but there's still only 6 people watching? This is absolutely fantastic. I'm just rather emotional that I'm doing a live stream and I've only got 7 of you. I wanted more of you. Does that sound like big-headed? It doesn't. It can't sound big-headed, does it? That sounds just like you're failing. You know what I mean? Yeah, so 3 hour drive in the classic, I'd have no spine or eardrums left. Does that mean that you're coming in your mini hatch as just a guest, right? Because I love Festival of the Unexceptional that much, and it's just such an opportunity for me that I drive old cars that I could never just come as a guest. I would have to have my car parked on that field, period. I just would. And I sold me Fiat Brava, or it's half sold anyway. And people were going to me, why don't you just sell it now? Why don't you just give it to the bloke now? I said, no, I have booked that in for Festival of the Unexceptional, and I am going. Why don't you just take another car? No, I don't want to buy another car. Why don't you just take your Saxo? It took me Saxo last year. Absolutely not. Um, Probably going to go down and find a hotel the night before. Does that mean en route? You're going to find the hotel en route the night before? Mate, book one now. I've booked. I tell you what, actually, this is an exclusive invite to all 8 people that are watching. I have booked. I can't even. I was looking for my phone. Then it's there. I've booked the Premier Inn in. God, is it Marlborough or somewhere like that? It's somewhere near to the. Obviously, it's in Lincolnshire. Obviously, near to Grimsthorpe Castle. But I've booked the Premier Inn there. I've booked a room in there. I don't know if anyone else has cottoned on and booked that hotel because it's near to where Festival of the Unexceptionals happen. But I booked there the night of the 28th of July. So if anyone wants to come and have a drink with me that night and we'll have a few pints, I will be in the hotel bar for sure, having a few drinks. 100%. We've got another person here, Hayden Saxby. Been watching your videos for a few years now, watching this instead of High Peak Autos. Well, that has made me feel a sort of sense of pride there that I'm doing something right. Having said that, though, I like High Peak Autos very much. Is High Peak Autos live now? Is he? Is that where everyone is? I'm finding out. No, he's not live. It doesn't look like. But obviously, he must have uploaded something. Hang on, no. I'm signed into the wrong channel. Hold the line, caller. No, he's not. But he has just bought a cheap Volkswagen Golf there. What was I saying? High Peak Autos, though. No, I get on with him very well. I do like the bloke. I love his content as well. And he is the perfect car salesman because he just has no filter. He's very dry. He tells it how it is. He's absolutely perfect for the motor trade, which is obviously what I work in as well. And his videos are fantastic. And like everybody's videos on YouTube, they've come a long way as well. Brilliant content, High Peak Autos, and I've spoken to him outside of YouTube, like on Instagram and that as well. Brilliant. He's not far from me either. He's in Stockport. So if all goes wrong for me in the car game in Liverpool, then I'll be sure to be knocking on his door for a job. I think I messaged him as well when I first got my Fiat Brava and said, like, this would be a cool video for you. Would you like to buy it? He's like, good luck with the sale. I thought, well, that means a no then. But yeah, we'll carry on. Philip, we've got Philip's on now. I tell you what I love about this doing these live streams, because this happened last year as well, is that people who never comment on my videos, who are obviously clearly subscribed but never comment on the live streams and sort of come out the woodwork a bit. So I've got a viewer here who is clearly lovely because of what he said. His name's Philip. And he says quality over quantity, clearly, exclamation mark. Yeah, clearly, mate. Thank you. I'm trying my best, you know what I mean? I mean, this is, to be fair, mate, because I'm doing all the talking, this is probably a little bit more of an animated version of me that you would see in the pub, in the boozer. If someone else was doing half the fucking talking, then I'd probably be a little bit less excitable and animated. So with that said, don't let that put you all off coming for a drink with me in the Premier Inn in Lincolnshire, Grimsthorpe, on the 28th of July, which, by the way, is one day before my birthday. So Hayden Saxby's watching me over high peak autos. That's lovely. Philip says quality over quantity. Oh, 16 Velvet is back. He's back in the room. You still got that sexy AF Brava then, Matty. Sexy as fuck Brava then, Matty. I certainly have. Do you know what? I've forgotten your name, 16 Velvet, but I'm going to say it's Steve. Correct me if I'm wrong. But yes, I have still got the sexy as fuck Brava. The story was with that was that obviously it had a load of MOT advisories when I bought it, but I really, like I was saying to you and before, I really, really wanted it, so I bought it. And I kept it until January, and then I sawned it, put it up for sale for $1,695, $1,695 in other speak. And it just didn't budge. And also I had a lot of people offering me money to scrap it, and I didn't want that. How could you? There's so little of them left. So I said, no, I'll reduce the price a bit, but I won't let it go to, just any old Tom Pepper off the street. So you may have seen on my Instagram that it recently got clamped. And that was because I had sawned it and then unsawned it because I was going to start using it again, but unfortunately just didn't start using it again on time, basically, all my own fault. So when I gave the Saxo to my brother to, drive around in, which he hasn't passed his test yet, but when I got that off my hands, I said, right, I'm putting this Brava back on the road, especially because it's been clamped. And I'm using it now as a daily driver. And let me tell you, with these lovely sunny days that we're having here in Liverpool, that electric sunroof is absolutely fantastic. And a big pro about that car, and a big pro about any car, is if it's got a strong fan speed heater / cold air ventilation, it's got my heart sort of thing. And it has got a very, very powerful heater / cold air ventilation. A couple of 17-year-olds on the landing there. Hopefully they won't intrude again. 9 people watching. That's the 6 has just turned upside down. That's absolutely fantastic. So yes, Steve, I have still got it. If your name's Steve, by the way, I think it is. Yeah, I've still got the Brava. Someone is allegedly buying it at the end of July, just after Festival of the Unexceptional. It will be at Festival of the Unexceptional as well. So yeah, but it's a fantastic car. It is brilliant. And like I was saying, you can't say it enough times, can you? It is such a looker as well. It is absolutely gorgeous. So yeah, I think that answers your question. Ewan's Auto Escapades back again. I'll actually join you for a drink before Festival of the Unexceptional if you want, mate. What do you mean if I want any? I will be. Put it this way: I'm a northern boy. I'll be. And it was like this last year. When I went last year, I felt like I was the only northerner. And all the lads that were there, in the actual grounds, who were around my age, they were just oh yeah, you know what I mean? And no, through no fault of their own, you know what I mean? But it would be nice to see someone, a familiar face who I knew. Do you know what I mean? I obviously bumped into Lloyd Vehicle Consultant, who is, a lovely fella. I've met him a few times. But yeah, lads my age, I was you all right, boys? And they were you're all right, yeah? So, Ewan, it would be an absolute honour if you could come for a drink. What do you mean if you want? If I want, of course I want. Anyone is welcome to join me for the drink, as long as, we're going to have a nice little chat and a nice little laugh. Yeah, I must find out. Let me see. Everything's on my phone, and my phone's doing the live stream, so I can't. I'll have to message you separately, Ewan, about the specific Premier Inn that I'm staying in. But definitely fantastic that we've got 11 people tuned in. 49 minutes in. Like I said at the start, we'll go on for as long as you can. If people start to drop off, then obviously we'll start to draw a close on it. But as long as you can go, I can go. I can well, quite frankly, I can drink these all under the table. 11 down to 10. Beautiful. 12 likes. Got a few more questions here. We've got Car Nerd here. Car Nerd. Hello, Matt. I've been on YouTube since 2016 from Birkenhead. Oh, Birkenhead. That's just over the water from Liverpool, if you didn't know. Um, Sometimes there's a little bit of like sort of rivalry between, not rivalry because Liverpool's clearly better than Birkenhead, but sometimes there's like a little bit of sort of tension between Liverpool and Birkenhead. I'm not really bothered. So we'll carry on with what we were saying here. Hello, Matt. I've been on YouTube since 2016 from Birkenhead. Car channel, I've only got 147 subs. Get lots of people watching, but no subs. What do you think is the key for subs? I think that I am the wrong person to ask for that, because if you go onto my channel, Car Nerd, and you look at my most popular videos, the views outweigh the subscribers tenfold. But what I'd say to you, Car Nerd, is that if you've got however many subscribers that you've got, if you've got them people sort of loyal and they keep coming back, and you've got your sort of regulars that I've sort of got commenting on my videos, such as Bailey Prickett from Car Culture, Ewan's Auto Archives, Lloyd Vehicle Consultant, North B, who always comments. He's just commented them. Who else do I have? Mark Punt. I'll have missed people out, but if you've got your sort of regular fan base, it's not about subscribers. Do you know what I mean? It's great that you've got a lot of views. It is great, but for almost every YouTube channel, Car Nerd, that doesn't translate into subscribers. Viewers don't translate into subscribers. If you look at one of the biggest channels biggest car channels, most successful car channels, if you look at CarWow, if you go on to how many views they've got in total, and then how many subscribers they've got way more views than subscribers, even though they've got millions and millions of subscribers. So really, mate, I wouldn't worry about it. I'd just keep doing what you're doing. But also, mate, I'm telling you now, I will check out your channel, because I've never heard of you before until right now. And if you're from Birkenhead as well, you know, like maybe if you're any good, and like we can sort something out, like we can, you know, do a little video or something. I don't know, but whilst you're just a name on the screen, I don't know. But yeah, I'll have a look at your channel, mate, and I'll give you a bit of advice. But it seems like a little bit rich from me giving advice to other people, because I'm really just, you know, I'm just myself. Do you know what I mean? So, yeah. Going to that defo, does that mean Festival of the Unexceptional? Definitely go. Ewan's also North B. I did say he commented and he says, "Oi, oi, sexy." I don't know where you're from, mate, but I've just said that in like a sort of Phil Mitchell accent. And I'm assuming you're a lad as well. I don't know. You might be a girl, but yeah, you're okay. Hello. How are we? How are we all? Actually, I think I think this is hitting me a little bit now. I am a lightweight. There's absolutely nothing of me. And all the hand gestures are starting to come out as well now. So, yeah, thumbs up from the Car Nerd. Love that channel. Skater. Oh, bloody hell! I've had too much of this to even read this. Skater JM124. Will got a Honda Civic Type R Episode 3. Will got a Honda Civic Type R. Will got a Honda Civic Type R Episode 3. You will have to repeat that, or not repeat it, because I still don't know what you mean, but you will have to expand on that, because I don't know what you mean. North B. There's a little paragraph from our North B here. I wonder if he's going to let me know if he's a boy or a girl, because, you know, by that username, you don't know who you're talking to, do you? Matt, mate, I love your videos. Keep them up, son, even though you don't post the old Saxo no more. I brought pretty much rough example, I can't lie. Keep up, you're gonna go big if you keep putting the work in. Right, you've opened a lovely can of worms there, North Beat. Thank you so much as well for your comments and compliments. Right. That's just happened. Rotate device. Okay, hang on. We're still here, the boys. I've just knocked the camera off the tripod for the second time again. If you've been here since the start, I've just given away the fact that I did do this at the start as well. So I apologise for that. And North B, sure as shit, we're gonna get back to your comments as well. And make no mistake as well, tell your friends, this really is a live piss up, isn't it? I mean, I've knocked the camera off the fucking tripod twice. This must be a live piss up by now. This is a real piss up. I don't know. Camera looks wrong there. Turn it round. Yeah, so North B, what did you say again? So love your videos, keep them up, son. Even though you don't post the old Saxo anymore, let me tell you something about this, right? So I've still got videos of my Peugeot 205 that I am yet to post. I've still got videos of the Saxo that I'm yet to post. I've still got videos of my E46 that I am yet to post. All bar the Saxo, I've sold them cars. So, like, it is so, like, I'm so behind with my videos that it is, like, unbelievable. And if you can hear, excuse me, if you can hear the 17-year-olds, then I do apologise. Some of them might be 16 as well. Anyway, yeah, so the reason I don't not post the Saxo anymore, it's just I'm so behind, and I try to, like, do the videos in, like, a certain order. Otherwise, if I post a 205 video one week and then a Saxo video the next week and then a BMW video the week after that, people will get confused. Do you know what I mean? So that's kind of why I've been sort of limiting the videos, sort of thing. What else do you say? You bought a pretty rough example. I can't lie. Tell me more about your pretty rough Saxo. The problem is with the VTRs and the VTSs, and I said this last year on the live stream, is that they are getting on now, and they were modified to fuck when they were new. So, you know, finding a really nice example now is such a hard thing to do. Keep it up. You're gonna go big if you keep putting the effort in. That's where you've opened the can of worms. Like, it's so hard to. I'd love to upload more than I do, but it's there's just no time with working in the motor trade where it's just non-stop, constant, like working weekends, working whatever, and then trying to, you know, I'm in my early 20s, so I'm trying to maintain a sort of social life. I've got me mates, I've got me close mates, not as many as my brother down there, but I've got me mates. And then I don't live with my parents anymore. I'm in my parents' house right now, but I don't live with them anymore. So then you're trying to live in your little sort of gaff and, you know, do all the sort of shit that you need to do. Be an adult, basically. It's hard to find the time to just take like 3 hours and edit a video. And like I at the minute I'm like uploading like once a month or once a month and a half, and like I'd love to do more. I'd love to upload every week, but it just, at the minute, it's just so hard. So yeah, and if you take me mate Bailey Prickett for an example, he's overtaken me now in subscribers because he's consistent. And that's what it's all about with YouTube. But, you know, thanks, mate. Thanks for your comments. He also says, I'm from Bournemouth and I'm a boy, 22. All right, mate. It's not a Tinder profile. It's all good. I'm lightweight, but drink till I can't no more. Ha! That's exactly the same as me, mate. Like, I will just, you know, I do like a drink, to be fair. I won't make a complete twat of myself. Like, I have been known to, but I won't do that like every time I have a drink. But, you know, I do like a little drink, especially on a Friday night. I mean, I've just told you that how many hours I work. I mean, Friday night I am gonna have a drink. It doesn't matter what I'm doing. You know what I mean? Even if I'm operating heavy machinery. Keep your questions going, by the way, boys. You can ask me almost anything. and I will probably give you some sort of answer. Who's this? Jan, if drink gets to you enough, feel free to dance. Show us those Matty moves. Jan, either you know what my dancing is like, aka like absolutely atrocious, or you've got a weird fetish for me dancing, and it's well, I'm wearing shorts at the minute as well, just like normal combat shorts. So I think it's probably going to take a few more drinks and probably about like 3 bombs of ecstasy to get me to dance. Carned, what's your favorite YouTube channel car related? Very, 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 very good question. Because if you were on a different live stream, Jan, then the default sort of answer would be, oh, Hubnut, I drive. And, Hubnut's great in his own right, but I champion the underdog. And I'd say my favourite YouTube channel at the moment has got to be a channel called OG Cars, who he just buys another car every week and he's brilliant. And I also like, he used to be called Tom Mitchell, but he's called Tom Drives now. Lad from Nottingham, I think, Northern boy. He's got a Rover 75. He's got an Austin Maestro, 2 cars that I would love to own, by the way. He's just bought a Ford Cortina, and he's just like cool boy, cool, dead chill, does his videos and really entertaining and really good videos as well. So he's one of my favorites that I like to watch. I love Twin Cam. He's getting more professional though by the day, and it is almost like watching a movie, when you watch his content. But I'm trying to think as well. I'd love to let me have a look at who I'm subscribed to at the minute. And I will try and keep the conversation going while I am doing this. Oh, 16 Valve, we've mentioned him. It's almost like a sense of occasion when one of his videos come out, because he leaves them that long that when they come out, you are just grateful for them. I'm scrolling through people who are subscribed to here, but it is JJ on Cars. He's absolutely fantastic. Little bit disappointed that he's not watching tonight, or if he is, he hasn't left a comment, but he's absolutely fantastic. I love his work. Tom Drives, we've mentioned that. There's a lot of people I subscribe to here who I do like, but I don't necessarily watch all of their content. I've got to mention Ewan's Auto Escapades, haven't I? Because he's been commenting all night and basically holding up this live stream. Big Car, I do love him. Who else do I subscribe to? Worth reviewing. If you haven't heard of him, he's brilliant. He's also doing really well for himself. He's got about 2,500 subscribers, but he's really doing well for himself, and he's a good laugh as well. He's been on the podcast. R. Hansen, the letter R for Romeo, and then Hansen, all one word, is someone who I've recently discovered. He does good, really well thought out car reviews as well. In terms of my favorite YouTuber, though, I would have to say it is a toss up between Tom Drives, who used to be Tom Mitchell, and OG Cars as well. They are my favourites at the minute. To answer your question, Carned. North B just leaves me laughing faces. I mean, Carned, I'm on my 5th beer. Come on, lad. Oh, am I still on my first Jack Daniels and Coke, or is this my second one? There we go, lad. North B from Bournemouth. I've just scored that JD and Coke for you there. And as well, mate, I haven't had my tea, but that's because I didn't get my lunch till late, because Mad Fridays, you've got to get the forecourt full for the weekend, haven't you? So I weren't hungry for my tea because I didn't get my lunch till late, and I had a chippy as well. So Spring rolls, chips, butties, the lot. A few more questions to rattle through here. What have we got here? I am very, very behind here. Philip, good heavens, thought I'd fallen down a well then. What does that mean? I might be a little bit behind or slow or out of context. Not sure. Carnade, finding the time. I work in a body shop. Oh, we could be friends. I work in a body shop and we are so busy just having the time, and with 3 kids, just having the time. You got 3 kids? Oh my God. This is what I say to people. I'm not even there yet. I haven't even had kids yet. And I don't have the time to do shit now. So God help you if you've got 3 kids. Obviously, you will presumably love your 3 kids, and couldn't imagine life without them. But it's our graft, isn't it? I'm saying that like I know. You work in a body shop though. What is it? Is it gonna be? Is it gonna be a body shop that I'll know? Are you the one? You're the one from Birkenhead, aren't you? So you could. I've always got work if you need work, but it sounds like you're very busy. North B, no, it's fine. Keep them coming. We will be here. I only got a desire. I'm assuming this is a Saxo desire, just to paint work rough. As though only done 51k miles though. Right, North B, I'd like to introduce you to Carnade, who's got a body shop in Birkenhead. So if you would like to drive from Bournemouth to Birkenhead, which I think is a really, really feasible and money-saving proposition, then there's a bit of body work that can be done for you there. But a Saxo Desire on 51k. Do you know what I think as well? And if you pardon the pun, I think that the Saxo Desires and the basic Saxos, I think they're going to become more desirable and more rare than the VTRs and the VTSs, because I think the VTRs and the VTSs are a very protected sort of species of Saxo, but the shitter ones, if you like, the smaller engined ones, they are still like being thrown away. They're still being scrapped. So I think in the end, it's going to be harder to get a 1 litre Saxo than it is a sportier one, a VTR or a VTS. Like, getting a diesel Saxo now is like hen's teeth. Do you know what I mean? And I was offered a diesel Saxo like a couple of years ago. And I just weren't in a position to buy it. But you know what? I wish I'd have bought it, because I think it was the same engine that was in the AX, wasn't it? And the engines were just bulletproof, and it would literally sip the diesel. You'd get about 500, 600 miles out of a tank. Like, you can only dream of that now, can't you? In a cost of living crisis, it was absolutely bulletproof, unbelievable engine. 13 people watching, 13 likes. You've obviously all waited until I was half cut to come back to the live stream. Like I say, we will go on as long as it takes. The 17-year-olds have gone a little bit quiet. So maybe they're all holding hands on the living room carpet, doing mushrooms on a trip or something. That's good for me. We'll continue with some questions. I'm from Scarborough, North Yorkshire. That's Skater MRJM124. Scarborough is lovely. Not that I haven't been there, but I have seen the TV show Scarborough, written by Darren Litton, and I think Scarborough is, well, it's a tourist destination. It's lovely. North Yorkshire as well, so not too far from me. Might have to fucking pay a visit up there. North B is again. We understand, mate. Life's life. Just when you find the time to stick, we're waiting. Hang on, right. Let's fucking get yourself together here, Matty, and read these comments. We understand, mate. Life's life. Just when you find the time to stick, we'll be waiting. I assume that means we'll be waiting. I got my own place. Need to get a missus. Washing up every single day and cleaning is non-stop. Well, I think you'll find, mate, that even if she does do the washing up, you're still in for you're still going to have less time and you're still going to have more aggro. Let me tell you that for free. I hope she's not watching. But hopefully, Hubnut will be reviewing my car soon, waiting for the message. What car have you got, Car Nerd? Let me know. You might have already told us, but remind me again. Okay, typing too much. Ignore me. 15 people low. Come on. I still need to learn not to make a test of myself on drink. Might have to just give it up. North B, what are we doing here? You're not making a twat of yourself. I think that's what you're saying. And as long as it's not a problem for you, then, like a consistent problem for you, we're getting all a little bit alcoholic now. But as long as it isn't a problem for you, don't give up something that you enjoy. We've got Sunny D 1865 who says, I think they're trying to own all of the UK Skoda favourites at this rate, and he says he loves OG cars. Yeah, you're probably right there, and as well, this is what I mean about underdogs. Like, there is absolutely no calling. There is not a calling for Skoda favourites. But somehow OG cars have got more than one of them. And to be honest with you, Sunny D 1865, I absolutely love that prospect that they are buying up the Skoda favourites. I'd love to see them at Festival of the Exceptional. North B again. This guy is too funny. I hope that means me. We'll see. Carned, Future Classics. Are you asking me what the Future Classics are? Because I can rattle off a few for you right now. Future Classics, 100%. And if you are in the market for a Future Classic, listen to this advice. 100% Mark 1 Ford Focus. If you can buy one, or even buy one and do it up, then you're in for your money. It was a revolution of a car when it come out, and they have been owned by average Joes, people who aren't into cars, but they were wasted on those people because they were fantastic cars. It's not that the Mark 1 Focus will be forgotten as a legacy. It's just the fact that they are being thrown away and thrown away and thrown away. And as much as you think that there's so many of them left, they are dropping like flies. So as a future classic, my number one choice, Mark 1 Focus. And then I would say a Mark 1 Toyota Yaris. Not the best cars, but really good cars in their own right. But I would say a Mark 1 Toyota Yaris. Again, even though if you live by people who deliver pizza, even though it feels like there is more Toyota Yarises than there was when they were new, it absolutely isn't the case. Buy a Mark 1 Yaris, especially if you can get a T-Sport as well. I'd say a Honda Civic. I can't remember what gen it was, but the ones that you could get on a T-Reg, I'd say they are a future classic. I would say a K11 Micra, 100%. They did rot, but they will become a future classic. If you want to go a little bit more modern, I'd say the Mark 1 Mini from like 2000 onwards. So obviously you've got the Mini Cooper, like the Mini, the Italian job Mini, the Austin Rover Mini. It wasn't Austin Rover, it was just Austin, wasn't it? It was an Austin Mini? I'm getting confused now anyway. But that Mini, the little one, the original Mini, of course, that's already a classic. They're worth about 10 grand. But if you can get a Mark 1 Mini that BMW made in about 1999, definitely a future classic for me. These are my predictions anyway. What else? A Mondeo ST, Mark 3 Mondeo ST. God, I'm trying to think what else. There's absolutely loads of cars though now that you can pick up for relatively cheap. I know the prices have gone up, but you can still pick them up for relatively cheap. And honestly, in my opinion, the prices of them, classic car prices, are just going to go like that. So they're my suggestions anyway. Let's see if anyone else has commented. We've got the Makerfield Consort. I think this is the guy that plays the flute. And to be honest with you, I live for that. And he says, sorry if someone's already asked this, but what is your favourite non-car related channel? Non-car related channel. Okay. I'm going to sound really boring here, but I'll tell you what I've recently got into, and it is the BBC Archive, which basically shows BBC content from a little while ago. But I'll tell you something that isn't non-car related. I love Chicken Shop Date with Amelia de Moldenberg. It's not even a guilty pleasure. I just live for it. I think she's great. I think she's a great journalist. I love her deadpan character. Anyone with a deadpan character, I absolutely love. Now, if you go on my channel, Matty's Cars, you will see that I am subscribed to TED Talks. Ignore that. I absolutely never, ever watch a TED Talk video. It's a load of shit. But I'm just scrolling now through my channel subscriptions. I watched Joe Fazer. He's a bodybuilder because I had this dream of getting a little bit bigger and being hench, but then I decided that actually I'm fine the way I am, so left that. But I'll just carry on drinking and smoking bifters instead. Non-car related channels. I love Bambino Becky. It really does depend on how old you are, whether you're going to relate to any of these channels. But I do love Bambino Becky. She's a gorgeous Welsh bird, apparently. Apparently she is a gorgeous Welsh bird. Essentially is the word I was looking for. She's a gorgeous Welsh bird who does drinking games on YouTube. I like her. And other than that, I am a car nerd, so every channel I watch is to do with cars. I watch the odd sort of construction video because I'm quite interested in like architecture and things like that. There's a brilliant channel called Andrew who does, his name is literally Andrew. He's got 16,000 subscribers and he does like analysis on TV shows, old and new, such as like The Office, such as Peep Show. Peep Show was what he cut his teeth into. But yeah, that's all you have to do is go. Like I keep my subscriptions public, so if you want to watch them, if you want to see what I sort of watch on YouTube, then just go on Matty's Cars and go on the channels that I subscribe to. We'll carry on with a few more questions. We'll see if we've got any more anyway. Okay, typing too much. Oh no, we've had that. I'm surprised that Ewan's Auto Escapades. I was surprised I was even mentioned as a favourite channel, to be honest. I don't know. I like your content and I like your humour, Ewan. That's all I'll say. Okay, so I've absolutely gone the wrong way here. So we've had the Makerfield Consort. We're back onto Sunny D 1865. One of my 106s has awful paintwork, and I'm tempted to try and give it a go myself. Give it a go yourself, but don't use a rattle can. That's all I'll say. Or if you're going to use a rattle can, just make sure you do it properly. I mean, what's the paintwork like? Is it like body shop bad? Is it like damaged? Or does it just need paintwork? Because more often than not, you can get away with it yourself. If it needs filling with cocky, though, forget about it. Just send it to a body shop. North Bay again. Yeah, good point. Very good point. I'm probably going to buy another one after this one, but a better example. I love them. I absolutely love Saxos. I think the 1 litres are very, very underrated in this day and age, and I think they're almost forgotten about as well. People only remember the VTRs and the VTSs, but the 1 litres are a fantastic car in their own right, to be fair. Luke Brown, my boyfriend loves your channel. Very good. I mean, that's great. People love my channel. Sunny D 1865. The 1.5 TUD was brilliant. But the 1.3 TUD, which came earlier, 8 head gaskets like a bastard. Now, when you say TU, I am assuming you're on about the Saxo, and because there was a TU engine in the Saxo, and my head gasket has gone twice in my Saxo. Once when I've owned it, and a previous time when the previous fella has owned it as well. What else have we got here? My boyfriend loves your channel. Oh yeah, we've got brilliant. Thank you. That's Luke Brown in the comments there. Again, Luke Brown, never heard of you, mate. I don't think you've ever commented on my channel, but fantastic that you love the channel and your boyfriend loves the channel, or maybe it's just your boyfriend commenting in your name. I don't know. Maybe Luke actually hates the channel and can't bear it, but Luke's boyfriend absolutely loves it. Who knows? Carnade Alfa Mito Twin Air. I'm assuming that's you telling me what car you've got if I've asked you. My mate's got one of them, actually. He's got the 0.9 Twin Air, same engine as in the Fiat 500. I originally would have been very skeptical about that car and about the engine. But my mates told me that it's a fantastic car, fantastic engine. And the Alfa Mito as well, I think is a good car. It is based on the Fiat 500, isn't it? It is a good car, but as the fact that it's an Alfa Romeo, I think it's just a little bit too tall. It's not ungainly, it's not ugly. Alfa Romeo done a fantastic job on the styling. I think it's a gorgeous looking car, but it just needs to be a little bit more squat, a little bit more smaller, a little bit more to the ground. Listen, guys, it's absolutely fantastic as well. We've got 12 people watching and we've been going for 1 hour and 20 minutes. So absolutely brilliant. If you want to, keep your questions coming. We'll keep the drinks flowing. I've never drunk this slowly in my life as well because I've been talking for so long. But, you know, it is the way it goes, such is the modern world. Sonny D 1865, future classics wise, pre-facelift 106s, I'd agree with you there. And Saxos for certain, yeah. Facelifts could even follow suit, as you said. Yeah, I do prefer the Saxo pre-facelift to the Saxo facelift. The problem with like the Saxo that I've got, like, which is the facelift, obviously, is that like the front is all like smooth and like curvy, and then like as you go further back, it just gets like boxy because that's the design. So it is sort of like sweet and sour, isn't it? But I still think it's like it's not a jaw-droppingly great looking car. But I think it's a good looking car in its own right. I think the Saxo is a gorgeous looking car. Naturally, no, that's the drink talking. It's not gorgeous, is it? But it's a good looking car. Yeah, Saxo definitely a future classic. I think you're right about the pre-facelift 106s as well. Very few cars that are facelifted look better than what come before it. It's the original is always the best, and that's definitely the case for the Peugeot 106. We've got Peter Taylor here as well. Again, I will always mention this. Peter Taylor, you've never commented, but clearly you must be subscribed. And it's lovely to hear from you as well. So, how come you decided not to do the mods, like a set of alloys on the Saxo? There's two ways to look at this, Peter. Either I am an old cynic or an old fart, or I just wanted the Saxo to be stock. Do you know what I mean? With VTRs and VTSs, they're all modded up to the rafters, and I see very few 1 litre Saxos, and the ones that I do see have got the stupid Halfords wheel trims on and, you know, shit like that. And I thought, no, when I bought this Saxo, it was a blank sheet of paper. It had no wheel trims. It had stickers and all shit all over it. Excuse me. And I thought, you know what? This is an opportunity, and it would appeal to me as well. It did appeal to me, and it does appeal to me. I thought, no, there's an opportunity here to get this back to stock. Do you know what I mean? And the most extravagant mod I've done on my Saxo is a wiper delete, because I think they look better with no rear wiper. And other than that, what I did was I ordered original Saxo wheel trims, and I took all the shitty stickers off, like the Union Jack and the Bumblebee, which I later found out was a Manchester Bumblebee. And and that's what I did. And I thought, you know what, it looks so much better now the way it is. The only thing, if you're on about mods, the only thing I would like to do to the Saxo is tint the rear windows. Guys, there's 12 of you watching. Surely one of you must have an opinion on this. If you do, then let me know what you think about tinting the rear windows of the Saxo, because I want to know. I think it's a good idea. So yeah, Peter, that's the answer to your question. I wanted it back to stock, and it was a daily driver for me at the end of the day, so I didn't want it to sort of, mad drive-through sort of vibes. But thank you very much for your comment, Peter. Philip says, I like Ewan's channel too. Yes, it's fantastic, and I know I'm not one to talk, because I have a terrible uploading schedule, a terrible sort of rate of uploads. But Ewan, if you're still watching, mate, honestly, invest in your channel a little bit more. I don't know what your circumstances are. Your circumstances might be exactly the same as me, where you've got just as tiny little time as I do in life. But if you've got the time and you're into it, then what's stopping you? You know what I mean? Do it. Upload a little bit more. Carry on. Basically, don't give up without sounding cheesy. I told you all that I don't watch TED Talks, but this is kind of at some points almost turning into one. And we've done alcoholism, we've done, never give up on your dreams. Let's see if there's any more comments coming through here. We've got the Makerfield Consort again. If the BBC archive interests you, the British Film Institute has a channel which may appeal. I'll find you and send you a link. The Makerfield Consort, please do. You could send me a link to anything. Well, not anything, but anything within reason. Something that you think I'd like, and I would open the link and see if I was into that sort of thing. I think my point is that there's a few people before now who I've sort of got in touch with, and they've been like, I'm like, me myself, I'm just not like that. Like, if anybody was to message me and go, hey Matty, I think you'd be into this, even though I have such little time, at some point I would get round to clicking your link and replying to your message. I'm not rude, basically, is what I'm saying to you. Which goes back to the point. If you'd like to come and have a drink with me and Ewan, in a Premier Inn in Lincolnshire somewhere on the 28th of July, then you're certainly welcome to. We've got 15 people watching the live stream. You are taking advantage of me. You've really waited till I'm absolutely half cut to come in on this, because I was about to give up before, but anyway. I know the game that you're playing. What have we got here? We've got the Makerfield Consoles again, and they're not flutes but recorders. But thank you for your kind words. Right, I said that he plays the flute. He doesn't play the flute. He plays the recorder. It's. I wasn't far off. It's a woodwind instrument. So, but yes, apologies for being incorrect about that. The Makerfield Consort. He plays the recorder, not the flute. And to be honest with you, mate, I'll be brutally honest with you. I don't subscribe to your channel, but I have watched it before, and I'll just reassure the 15 or the 14 other people that are watching that he can play the recorder exceptionally well. What are we on to now? We've got Sonny D 1865. Do you remember Sonny D? Do you remember when that turned that girl orange? Lacquer has all come off. Lacquer has all come off, and it's faded as hell. Red. Do you know what? Before I even read the fact that it was the color red, I knew it was going to be red. Red is such a twat of a color. Yeah, honestly, I am sorry to hear that, mate. But get it done. It's worth it. Is it a Mark 1 or a Mark 2? I can't remember if you said that or not. We've got Ewan's Auto Escapades still here. I agree. The upload schedule does need to get better. You and me both, mate. You and me both. The upload schedule for both of us really does need to get better. But honestly, mate, right now, and this is me pouring my heart out to all of you, I really don't see a way out. I like people say, "Oh, take time for you, do this, do that." I'm like, what time? There is no time to take. There is no time basically. I'm here tonight in my parents' house, and really, this is the only minute I've got since I've been out of out of my house share. Do you know what I mean? So, anyway, we'll carry on. We've got Peter Taylor here. Window tints looks decent, especially on a Saxo, but had a pain with them peeling, so gave up in the end. Do you know what, Peter? I'd probably be really lazy and send them to a sort of tint master sort of bloke. I'm not sure. Also, while you're on, Peter, you're saying that tints look good in a Saxo. Mine's a 5-door. Remember, do you think it'd still look good? I don't know. Let me know. Who else have we got here? We've got North B, who's just saying yes. Don't know what that's in response to. We've got Finn Whitsworth here. You know what I'm going to say here, don't you, Finn Whitsworth? I've never seen you comment on the channel, but you've come out of the woodwork on the live stream here. I'm assuming you're subscribed, but nevertheless, it's lovely to hear your comments. So, Finn Whitworth says, what would you say is a reasonable price for a Desire? Do you know what? Very good question. Because I will answer it, but if I was to put my Desire back on the market now, I paid, to give you a bit of context, I paid 800 quid, I think I paid for it, and it was on 65,000 miles, right? It's on 98,000 miles now. I think I'd probably put it back up again for the same sort of money, even though it's done like 35,000 miles more. So, yeah, it depends on the mileage. It really does depend on the mileage. I'd say don't pay over £1,000 for a Desire at the moment. I know we were discussing earlier that they are going up in value, but unless it's like something from like KG Classics, where it's like a Desire that's absolutely mint, that's done 3,000 miles, well, not 3,000 miles, maybe, yeah, 3,000 miles, or like, say, let's be more realistic, say it's done like 20,000 miles and it's a Desire and it's a minter, I'd say, yeah, obviously it's going to book at over £1,000, maybe two. But if you're just looking for a run-of-the-mill Desire that's done under 100,000 miles, I really wouldn't pay more than £1,000, mate. And that isn't like professional advice. That's just my opinion. I personally, if I was buying another Saxo Desire, I wouldn't pay over £1,000. No way. Not for a 1-litre Saxo. And I don't want to sound, funny, but I really wouldn't, to answer your question. North B again. Matt, where can I send you a photo of my beaten up Saxo? Do you have Instagram, North B? You can follow me on Instagram, Matty's Cars YT. Failing that, there's not really any other way, really. I'm not really on any other social media. I've given up Facebook. I only use Facebook for Facebook Marketplace now. So if you've got Instagram, North B, give me a follow. Matty's Cars YT. So that's Matty's Cars, Yankee Tango. And you can send me on there. Peter Taylor, I've got a Corolla liftback Y Reg. Ooh, very nice. Which is a pretty plain car. Hence why I went for a few mods, but trying to deal with 22-year-old rusty bolts doesn't help with that. Well, I was quoted a price, Peter, for shock absorbers on my Fiat Brava the other day. I bought the shockies myself, sent it into the garage, and I was quoted a price. However, the price went up significantly when the garage realised that every single bolt was seized when they went to do this shock absorber. So I really do feel your pain with that one. But yeah, Corolla. Was it a Corolla or an Aventus? It was a Corolla, wasn't it? Yeah, bit of a dull car, really. very good car in its own right, as I say about you know, all sort of good non-performance cars. They're good cars in their own right if they've got other attributes. The Corolla was a good car. But definitely, if you're going to be living with a wire edge Corolla, I would be thinking about modding it myself. We'll move on. We'll move on, and it's North Bay again. Oh, and whatever had the Hoffer shop, how much do you think it will be to spray the bonnet and the bumpers? Oh, hang on. What car does North Bay have? I can't remember. See, I'm only used to dealing with trade prices, you see, so I'm not sure how much it would cost you. It depends on what body shop you go as well. Okay, so you've corrected yourself and you said body there. Oh, and whoever had that body shop. Ah, right. So you're addressing this to Carned. So Carned, if you're still watching, how much to get the bumpers paint? You can sort that out amongst yourselves. Right, next question. We've got Philip. Is it Grantham Premier Inn? Rumour has it I once managed 3 shots in a row so I can drink for minutes. Oh, Philip, does this? Yes, it rings a bell, Grantham. I think I am staying in the Grantham Premier Inn, 28th of July. So if you'd like to come and have a pint with me, certainly can. I think it is Grantham, you know. I said Marlborough, didn't I? It's not Marlborough, it's Grantham. I think it is that. And rumour has it I once managed 3 shots in a row so I can drink for minutes. If you can drink for minutes, mate, then that's great. How many minutes? Are we talking like 60 minutes, 90 minutes? Let me know. 3 shots, eh? You can't. Oh, we can't be having shots if we're driving our beautiful classic cars to the show in the morning. I think I'll just stick with a couple of pints, a couple of whiskies, a couple of cigarettes in between, and if it turns to shots, then we'll see. This live stream as well is actually going really rather well. We've got 13 people watching. 13 people watching me slurring my words. I think we're due another drink as well in a minute. Keep your comments, questions, anything that's on your mind going. It's a safe space. It's an open space. And as well, every time I mention that we've got however many people watching, one person drops off. 12 people watching now. Watch, that'll become 11 in a minute. Couple more questions on here. Just let me pour this drink, and I will get right back to yous. So, we've got Sonny D, 1865. My red one's a pre-facelift 1995 Diablo Red. It's one hell of a nice colour when it's not pink. That's it as well. That always used to happen with the Saxos and Vauxhalls as well, is that they used to turn pink, and a lot of other cars as well. That is the problem with dog dick red, as we say in the trade. Dog dick red cars. But yeah, mate, 1995 Diablo Red Saxo, 100% keep that. You definitely have the immobilizer in there as well, won't you? 1995. I thought they come out in 1996. Maybe that was a typo. So, North B, yours is red as well. Sad face. I know this is the problem. Do not buy a red car and do not buy a black car. Honestly, they're a nightmare. Peter Taylor, I forgot that you had a 5-door. Tints might not look as good then. I thought that as well, but you know, I'm really quite tempted. I think it needs lowering, definitely. I think the do-over is the main thing to do. The D-wiper, sorry. I think the D-wiper is the main thing to do. Make a small 5-door hatchback look cleaner. 100% agree with you, Peter. 100% agree with you on that point. North B again, I spent 1,100 and it needed a service, transmission fluid changed. Now the power steering went and I got lack appeal. I defo got mugged off. When you say power steering, does it just need, it's obviously fluid operated, it's not electric. Does it just need a little bit of fluid in the tank? And also, North B, a little bit of advice to you. If you find you're struggling with your power steering or your power steering is in op, that could possibly mean that you need an alternator. That's definitely something that happened to me in my Saxo. And you'd be surprised, an alternator, not that expensive to replace. Lack appeal, lack appeal. It is what it is, isn't it? I'm impatient though. Well, aren't we all? We all want our cars to be done. This combo about prices of desire depressing me now. I spent way too much. How much did you pay? 1,100. I mean, 1,100. It is at the sort of top end of what I would think was proper money for a Saxo Desire. But I still think, I don't think you paid too much. I think you paid just on the money. You could have got it for cheaper, don't get me wrong, but you paid just on the money there. I will follow you on Instagram. Yeah, mate, definitely follow me on Instagram. Matty's Cars YT, Matty's Cars Yankee Tango. We've got Carl GB here. Carl, you know what we're gonna say here, don't you? We're gonna say, Carl, I've never seen, to my recollection, a comment on my channel from you, but I assume you're subscribed because you're commenting on the live stream. So Carl GB, Matty, I'm looking to get into classic cars. What is a good starter car to get into the classic car scene on a budget? Right. Ordinarily, I'd say a Mark 1 Focus, but Carl, I don't think they're at classic status yet. I really don't. I'd actually say, to be fair, does anybody, obviously you'll all remember, but does anybody remember the Mark 4 Fiestas, the tiny ones? You had the ones with the little sad eyes, and then you had the ones which had the new edge design sort of facelift. They are becoming so few and far between now that they are like a little classic, and it's sort of an under the radar classic as well, considering it's a Fiesta. As well, Carl, let me know what your budget is, because depending on what your budget is, you might be able to get something quite attractive that I might be able to sort of give you a little heads up on. But I'd say all the rage now is definitely, I don't know, what I need to know more, Carl. I need to know whether you're after a hatchback, a sports car. I know you're after a starter classic, and I know what your budget isn't going to be massive. But what are you into? And I'll tell you, sort of, if you're into saloons, I'll sort of give you a little bit of a shove on what I think is a sort of emerging classic saloon, E46. But yeah, let me know what you're into, mate, and I'll get back to you. Sunny D 1865. To be fair, cars like Saxos have gone up a bit because they are great first cars, so demand is strangely high. I think everything's gone up in value, really, and I think that Saxos, just because they're getting older and there's less of them now, they're naturally going to go up in value. They are great first cars, but I don't think an awful lot of people are aware of them as being good first cars. They were really, really popular, obviously, back in their prime. But ever since then, on the used car market at least, they've been overshadowed by Corsas, Fiestas, anything else that you care to think of, Polos, etc., etc. But yeah, you are right. They are appealing cars, and they are going up in value. What have we got here? We've got North B. So Sunny D, do you think I'm a mug? Oh, and what I needed to break. Hang on. Whoever's asking how many drinks are you in, I don't know. So Sunny D, do you think? Are we all just drunk here? Because nobody's comments are making sense here. Sunny D, do you think I'll think I'm a mug? Oh, and I needed to go break Prad's lol. Right, that's a conversation between you two. I don't know what that means. Getting slightly dark in here as well. I'm going to turn the light on in a minute. Peter Taylor was looking at Novas, but they seem to be worth a lot more than my kidney these days. Mate, I was desperate for a Nova as my first car, but they are going for such silly money, even the projects, even the rusty ones, even the spares and repairs. The money of them is just so silly that unfortunately it's at the moment it's out of my reach. It doesn't have to be out of my reach. I could save up and I could spend the money on one, but if I was to buy a Nova, I wouldn't want to use it as a daily driver. And at the minute, I've only got the money for something that I am going to make use of as a daily driver. I've got the money for something that I could buy for Nova money, but sell on and get more. But I haven't got the money to just throw at a Nova and keep in a garage, unfortunately. Carry on with a couple of questions here. Peter Taylor, trying to guess how many drinks you are in. It's not about how many drinks I'm in, it's about the measures that I've taken. To give you a clue, Peter, I've definitely had a few more drinks than last year's live stream, but you've got to have double the drinks because we've got double the subscribers now. 10 lovely people watching, 15 likes, absolutely beautiful. If you want to keep your comments and questions coming, please do. I'll try my best to answer them. I will answer them all, but it's just whether you get the answer that you want. Let's see what else we've got here. We've got Carl GB here. I've been sub for a few years. Okay, so you're like the quiet ones are the worst, aren't they, Carl? You've obviously been sub for a few years and never commented. That's absolutely fine, mate. That's absolutely fine. A lot of people as well. I mean, I've got to be careful now because I'm half cut, obviously. A lot of people I know in work and pleasure know about this YouTube channel who could quite possibly be watching me live now going, there's that Matty Manning, look at him. He's having a few drinks on YouTube. Anyway, doesn't matter, does it? We've got Northby again. Fluid is full, but blackish red, but it's just when driving. So you've got your power steering fluid is discoloured. I'd just do a change, see what happens. Change your fluid, see what happens. Could possibly be the alternator, mate. I can't lie. The first thing to go on a Saxo when the alternator's gone is the power steering. Then it's the electric windows, and then it's the if you keep running the car for that long, it's the speedo dials. So your rev counter, your fuel gauge, your speedo. 17-year-olds piping up again there. How am I going to deal with them, honestly, later on? Right, what else have we got? Carl GB, £2,000 budget. Oh, very nice. I have been looking at the Civic Aero deck, but I'm not sure. I mean, the only way you can go wrong with Japanese is with rust, isn't it? Japanese cars are bulletproof. It's the shame with the only downfall with them is the rust. If you can get something that is marginally being looked after, or better still, being looked after, but if you can get something with marginal rust that hasn't got too much advisories on the MOT, then I would advise something like a Civic. So I mentioned before about a future classic Civic being like one on a T-Reg, but also the ones like the one after that, like the 02 ones. They were kind of like old ladies' cars, but fantastic potential, fantastic handling, brilliant cars. I'd say a Civic is a really, really good bet. But £2,000 budget. I mean, I know prices of cars have gone up, but you've got a bit to play with there. £2,000 budget. I'll have a little think and get back to you. Do you follow me on Instagram, Carl? If you do, or if you've got Instagram and you don't follow me, and I'll definitely get back to you with something. I think, hang on, what have you said? £2,000 budget. So if you've been looking at something like Civics, then I think you definitely want to stay away from something like an E46. I know they're really well-handling cars, but they're very big and bulky, aren't they? They're saloons. I think from what you've said, I think you're looking at something like a hatchback, and I'd say maybe look into a Mark 1 Focus RS. I'm not 100% sure on what type of money they're fetching, but I'm sure you'd be able to get one for about £2,000, maybe 2,000, maybe 2.5. That sounds good. Yeah, if you're on Instagram, follow me, have a little chat, see, I'll definitely give you a little message back. I've been sub for a few years. We've had that one. Peter Taylor again, true with the Mark IV Fiesta, but it's hard to see the facelift as a classic yet. Oh, believe me, mate, it will come. It will come. Honestly, like even like the Mark V's, they're falling off now. And I know they were a little bit more of a boxy design and a little bit less desirable, but honestly, they're declining. Everything's declining. Honestly, the Mark IV facelift, my dad had one. That will become a classic. And you know, if you can get something like a little bit distinctive as well, like my dad had a V-Reg Mark IV in Gaia spec. Where are you going to find one of them now? Where are you going to find one of them? Honestly, don't be deceived. I still think that 2016 was 2 years ago. It wasn't. So imagine how long ago 2001 was. Was that when they stopped making them Mark IV Fiestas? Mark III? Yeah, Mark IV. That was when they stopped making them Mark IV Fiestas, about 2000 2001. I think the new boxy Fiesta came out in 2001, 2002. So that's a long time ago. That's like 20. That's 20 years ago. Honestly, that's a long time ago. So then Mark IV Fiesta facelifts, they're going to come into their own. What else have we got here? Carl GB. I like hatchbacks and estates. Yes, definitely. I mean, if you're going to buy an estate, there's two options. Well, there's three options. If you're going to be non-performance side, Volvo, definitely, or Saab, or whatever. But if you want a bit of performance, E46 estate, 100%. If you like estates, E46 estate, 110%. Or see if you can get yourself a Subaru estate. They were fantastic cars in the day. Japanese as well. They'll last forever. I can't remember if Subarus suffered with rust, but fantastic little cars. If you can get one of them in estate form, absolutely brilliant. Peter Taylor, which I think is called the Mark V. We're obviously on about Fiestas, but I'm not entirely sure. What else have we got? The Makerfield consoles. Unfortunately, classic cars are a bit of a no for me at present, owing to my work. That's why my comments are intermittent. Basically, I need something that can cope with pizza delivery. Pizza delivery? What are you on about? Every pizza got... Oh, hang on. It's just reconnected. I hope you're still with us. I hope you can join us still. What are you on about, the Makerfield consoles? Every pizza delivery driver has got more recently, a Chevrolet Matiz, a K11 Micra, a Toyota Yaris Mark 1, an old Skoda. You know, pizza delivery drivers, they don't have modern cars, apart from the ones that are maybe on the fiddle or whatever, but they don't have modern cars. Get yourself an old Toyota Aygo or Citroen C1. They, by the way, are fetching mega money at the minute. Grands, do you know what I mean? Like £2,000, £3,000 for a Citroen C1, Toyota Aygo, Peugeot 107. But honestly, mate, like you can get a classic car or an emerging classic in the form of a Mark 1 Yaris or a K11 Micra, and it will do the pizza deliveries forever, because that essentially is what they were born to do. Either that or run an old lady to the shops and back. But those Mark 1 Yarises and K11 Micras, they do the short trips. They've been doing them for the past 10 years. North B, if you're not reading, it's my typing. Okay, we'll leave that one at that. I don't know what that means. The Makerfield consoles. However, I'm currently running around in a Yaris. But it's 2005. Mark 1 Fabia Combi, classic status, 1 day. Mark 1 Skoda Fabia, 100% going to be a classic. They were fantastic cars. And again, do you see many of them on the road now? I don't. And that's because they were not as popular as the Polo, because it was when Skoda was still sort of coming into their own, as you know, they were still trying to shake off the bad name, still trying to come into themselves as a manufacturer, as a proper manufacturer. So honestly, yeah, Skoda Fabia Mark 1. Yeah, I'm drunk. Skoda Fabia Mark 1, definitely classic status in the future. Mark 2 Toyota Yaris, don't think so. I think they were too much of a robot, too much of a soulless car to ever be a classic. Not sure about that one. North B, I'm a bit drunk. Yeah, haha. Well, makes two of us. Meet your mate, mate. I think I am definitely drunker than I was on the last live stream. It's come full circle. I'm surprised that we are still going. We are an hour and 55 minutes in, and we've got 10 people watching, 15 likes. Absolutely lovely. We will go on for as long as you want to. What else have we got here? North B, yeah, mate. Central locking is sometimes working and not, so you might be onto something. Yes and no. Possibly I'm right, but also the central locking went on my Saxo many moons ago, so you know that possibly might be a possibility, but maybe not. Maybe your central locking has just broken. The pizza guys love a Yaris, says Carl GB. You are absolutely right. Doesn't it feel like that there's more Mark 1 Yarises now than there was when they were new? They are just everywhere. But don't be deceived. They are still classic status. They are still going to be a future classic, as I predicted earlier. Hayden Saxby, I saw a Deliveroo driver in a VW ID3 a while back. Very interesting, because if I'm right in saying the range on a VW ID3 isn't that great, and when they came out, I think people were still saying, like, the press was still saying, like, oh, you know, it still needs to improve. It's still not that great, but obviously VW had the money to have a internal combustion engine platform as well as an electric platform, which not all manufacturers have the money to do. Which basically meant that they had the money to do that electric platform, which means they could make a shit car if they wanted to. And essentially they did with the ID3. I'm not a big fan of that car. What else have we got here? Carl GB, Citroen C1 and their other identical models are used in a lot of entry-level racing series. The Citroen C1 shares the same, or the Mark 1 C1, it shares the same engine as the Saxo. Brilliant engine. The Citroen C1s are good cars. They are just a little bit more flaky than the Saxo was. The Makerfield console, there are still quite a few around, but not many combis. What were we on about here? Combis. Remind me what combis are, because all I'm thinking about at the minute is the Volkswagen Combi. I really need a wee, by the way. So what I'm going to do in a minute is go for a wee and see how many of you are left. And keep an eye on the 17-year-olds as well. My brother is having a house party and I'm on a live stream. And I'm a bit drunk. Final one for now, North B. Matt, I need to go to sleep. My name's Brad, by the way. But yeah, good mate. Lovely to speak to you. So that's North B getting off. Very lovely to have you on, North B. I hope you're still here to hear me say goodbye and everything like that. But yeah, have a good sleep, mate, and I'll see you on the next one, whenever that may be. We might hit 3,000 subscribers next week, and we'll all be back again for another piss up. I bet you're all looking forward to that. I myself, there's 10 of you watching, so if anybody wants to ask more questions, fine, but I'm going to go to the toilet. If there's no questions when I get back, I'm just going to call it a night and go back down and see what my brother and his mates are up to. But I really need to go for a wee, so I'm going to go off air for a couple of seconds and I will be back. Right, so we're back. 10 people still watching. Oh, absolutely fantastic. Very professional of me to go for a wee, but we have been going for 2 hours. We're going to answer a few more questions that we have and see how we go. So, you definitely need to do another one, mate. Well, I will do another one. The thing is, where someone's saying to me here, North B is saying, you definitely need to do another live stream. I mean, I will, but I think there's a few YouTubers that do them a little bit too often, because it's a bit of a commitment, isn't it, for you and for me? So I think if I hit 3,000 subscribers, whenever that may be, I will do another one, definitely, if yous are all up for it, because you clearly are. You know, you're going to get me drunk, honestly. On to the next question. We've got Carl GB again. I commented a long time ago about you upgrading your camera. Did you buy a new camera yet? Carl, how long ago was it that you commented? I'll tell you the problem with my camera quality, right? A few years ago now, upgraded to the Sony ZV-1 camera when it first came out because it was the bee's knees, right? So I have and still own and still record on a Sony ZV-1. However, when the Sony ZV-1 is either too impractical to record on, when I just need to get a quick shot, or the battery's died, or the SD card is full, what's the next alternative? Use your phone. And that means that you get discrepancies in your camera quality, and it's all my fault. I can only apologize for that. If you see, you know, one video is really good quality or one video is really bad, well, not really bad, but, you know, the quality differentiates, and that's because some of it is filmed on my phone, some of it's filmed on the camera. It really, really does depend on what's easiest. So yeah, I've acknowledged your comment, but Carl, Carl, I've definitely acknowledged your comment because I spent £700 on a Sony ZV-1. Whether that was before or after you commented, I don't know, but I did do that. What else have we got here? Working. I saw a delivery driver in a VW ID3. Yeah, we've had that. I didn't think I'd enjoy Matty in a loft drinking whiskey, but interesting discussions to be fair. What do you mean you didn't think that you'd enjoy me? Just me drinking whiskey in a loft. I tell you what, right? This is my old childhood bedroom, which has now been turned into my mother's slimming wailed office because that's what she does. She helps people lose weight as well as cutting their hair. So I guess hairdressing helps you lose weight, but so does working for Weight Watchers or Slim and Wailed. That helps you lose weight as well. Both two different ways of losing weight there. Getting your hair cut and actually keeping a record of what you eat, I guess. Doesn't look like anyone's keeping a record of what we're drinking tonight because I'm not sure how many we are in at the moment. I think everyone's just waiting for me to say something that I shouldn't, but I'm not Jeremy Clarkson, so we will carry on. There's still quite a few around. Sleep. Peter Taylor, we are back to Peter Taylor. Loved your Cavalier review. Would like one as a daily, and it would perhaps do pretty well, seeing as they were so reliable as company cars in the 90s. Peter, if you're toying with the idea of having a Cavalier as a daily, I would say just go for it, because the lad whose Cavalier that was, he owns a good few cars, he owns a few Vauxhalls, but that Cavalier is his daily car. That's what he uses on a day-to-day basis. And, you know, really, they were good, solid cars. The only reason why you don't see many Cavaliers anymore is because, well, look, let's not deny, we are 20 years on. But also, mate, Cavaliers for a long time were just worthless, undesirable cars. They were just really there to do a job, and you get to a point with a car where it gets over 10 years old and it stops doing that job. It starts to need a little bit of more of TLC and maintenance, and that is how the Cavalier died a death, as well as many other cars. Citroen Saxo, for example, they are just there to serve a purpose, and when these cars stop serving that purpose, it doesn't mean that they're completely useless. It just means that they don't serve the purpose that they were originally bought for. Hence why they get twatted on the used car market, and they get scrapped alternatively. So what I'm saying is, Cavalier in this day and age, really, really good daily driver. I don't aspire to own one myself, but really, I honestly think that's a really, really good choice. What else have we got here? Peter Taylor again can't warrant getting rid of the extremely reliable wire edge Corolla. That is a very good point. If you've got that, keep it, because bulletproof, it will run forever. What else have we got? The iPad is on 3% battery charge, so we're going to have to see if we can get a charger of some sort, or just move to the comments on the phone. What else have we got? Philip, if anyone asks me what I did Friday night, I'll now be able to say I watched an empty loft whilst Matty went for a wee. That's absolutely true. I mean, what can you do, though, Philip? When the floodgates open, the floodgates open. And I think I've done very well to have one beer and 3 or 4 Jack Daniels before the floodgates actually opened for the first time. So I think I'm doing quite well, to be fair, mate. We've got Jan back again. I don't often comment because I don't have anything to say, but I do watch. Keep it up. I'm sure you will do well. Much love. Jan, very kind of you. It's very nice to see that you've got absolutely nothing to say. I mean, I am all for an easy life, to be fair. I mean, you do say it best when you say nothing at all. As was it Ronan Keating said that? Ronan Keating. I'm at my mother's house. My brother's having a party in the house, a house party. I mean, what time is it? It's 10:10, and guests are still arriving at the house. Can you believe it? What else have we got here? We've got Carl GB again. I think somehow stumbled upon you from Twin Cam. I mean, you probably did, because I have been known to comment on Twin Cam's videos. I've been known to comment on Hubnuts videos. I've been known to comment on Furious Driving videos. You know, at the end of the day, if you comment on a video, there's more of a chance that other people are going to see your channel. So that is probably a really, really good explanation as to how you've stumbled upon my channel. Macklin's Motors, bloody hell, you're late, mate. Is it? What are we 2 hours behind in Scotland? Are we? Oh, hey, Mr. Manning. Hey, Macklin's Motors. I meant to tune in much earlier, but I fell asleep. You fell asleep. I mean, you're younger than me. How have you fallen asleep? We are literally Macklin's Motors. We are literally 2 sheets to the wind right here. So you are a little bit late. The iPad is on 2%, so I don't know how I'm going to access your comments. However, it's lovely to have you on. It's lovely to have you here. Ask as many questions as you want, within reason, as we described on the Instagram chat. I think you can probably tell by now that I am a little bit drunk. I am a little bit sloppy right here, but I will try my best. We've got Peter Taylor again. Would have to go for an SRI because even the 1.6 and 1.8 Cavaliers are still a bit dull. They are, but so is a wire-edged Toyota Corolla. So, you know, what do you want to do? What do you want to do? We've got Martin Jones here, a first-time commenter. I think, I'm going to say it again, never seen you comment on my YouTube channel, but you're here on the live stream, so I'm assuming you subscribed. Martin Jones, love the channel. What is the next car? I think the next car is going to be a Lexus IS200. I think I'm in the market again for a marginally premium saloon, and I think the Lexus IS200 ticks all the boxes. I think it is a great looking car. It's rear wheel drive, so I think it's going to handle very well. And I'd really be intrigued to own one and to see what it's like. And also, it's Japanese, it's Toyota. What could possibly go wrong? Honestly, what could go wrong other than the fact that I think they did drink the juice? But really, what could go wrong with a Lexus IS200? There was also the Toyota import of them as well, which is called like the Toyota Altezza. They're mega money, but you know, a Lexus IS200 or a Toyota Altezza, very much in the market for one of them next, once I've sold my Fiat Brava, to answer your question, Martin Jones. Carl GB, have you ever been to the Motorist in Leeds? I went to a Furious driving event there recently. No, I haven't. I've seen it all over YouTube. I've seen it all over YouTube, Carl. I know that Steph from iDriver Classic works there. I would really like to go. I don't know. Well, all that's standing in my way is time. I would love to get down there and have a look. There's the Drive Dad's Car thing down there as well, isn't there? Which sounds really, really intriguing. So it is on my bucket list to visit, Carl. Looks absolutely fantastic. So yeah, I have heard of it. I would love to go, but I've never been. Macklin's Motors again. Sorry, Matty, for my shite timekeeping, but I still love you. Are you a little bit drunk as well, leaving me little red hearts? How many Balaraki whiskies have you had, Mr. Macklin's Motors, Lewis Mackland? I mean, you're meant to be Scottish, for God's sake. You're meant to be able to have a few drams and absolutely not go to sleep. But anyway, Martin Jones says, IS200, awesome choice, Matty. I know, they were the car to have, weren't they, back in the day? And what are we talking with them? We're talking about early 2000s, late 90s. They were the absolute car to have back in the day, because Lexus were renowned for just making the big, chunky, you know, barges of executive cars that they made. And they all of a sudden brought out this BMW 3 Series alternative. And it was like, wow, like you can have a BMW, yeah, but you could have a Lexus, which is going to be more reliable, and it's basically going to give it's just a nice alternative to the BME 46. And yeah, I really valued them cars. I think they were a really good looking car because they were like really elegant and nice from the back because they had the circle lights and shit like that, and but from the front really like mean and aggressive. And they were all petrol engines, which I admire. There was no diesel. The automatics were fantastic. The manuals, you know, I'm going to see what I can get for the money, but I'm after an automatic. I think as much as a manual is better on paper, I think the manuals, from what I can recall, were a little bit notchy in them IS200s. They were Toyotas, let's be fair. The iPad's on 1%, so I'm going to see if I can access the comments from the phone. I saw an IS200 in white yesterday. I don't think I ever saw one in white. Yeah, they were all like, there was the beige one, there was the dark green one. The beige one was the most common. There was the dark green one. There was the really burnt orange one. there was a sort of metallic blue one, and I think I'm right in saying there was like a pinky red one. I don't remember any of the other colours. I've definitely never seen one in white from what I can recall anyway. Now, someone was saying before about me going for a wee. I don't know whether to go for a charger, or I don't know whether I'll be able to see the comments here. All messages are visible. Okay, close. Ah, yeah, right. I can get the comments up here. That's absolutely fantastic. So even when the iPad dies, I will be able to see the comments, except the comments keep disappearing. Hurry up, get a charger. Well, that's me told, isn't it? I will have to get a charger. I bet it's easy to find a manual IS200 nowadays due to them being favourable for drifting. You're absolutely right, but I don't want a manual, Carl. When was the last time you saw a Ford Fiesta XR2i 90s Mark III? To be completely honest with you, I don't know, but I did see a Mark II Ford Fiesta the other day. Now, Carl is demanding that I find a charger, so that is exactly what I'm going to do. Give me, I'd say, a minute and a half, and I will see if I can find a charger. Free to go on however long as you want. If you keep your comments and questions coming, I will keep talking to you, but we'll see how we go. I don't normally shout to fellow commenters, but hi, Lewis. So there we go. There's a couple of people networking in the comment section there. Keep networking. I'll go and get a charger. See you after the break. There's only one way to find out. Fight! Oh, let's see how many people are left. Let's see how many people are left. Oh, we've got 12. So there's more people who are watching now than there was when I was here. So it turns out that more people are entertained by me not being here than when I am here. So you're all back. You can all stop checking your WhatsApps and your phone now. I'm back. I don't know if there's going to be any more interruptions from the 17-year-olds coming up the stairs. You see, someone's just dropped off because they've realised I'm back. Let's see if we've got any more comments or questions. I can bet it's not easy. Right, we've had that. Hurry up, get a charger. Make feel consort. I don't normally shout to fellow YouTubers, but hi, Lewis. Sunny D, 1865. Flawless production here, Matty. Well, look, what can you do? I'm only human. There's no editing in this. I'm overseeing a 17-year-old's party. There's doors slamming, shit like that. I mean, what else can you do? I didn't actually think that it was going to last this long either. I thought it will be well finished by now.
They're going to play my dad's guitars. Right. Sam's sober, so it's fine. Do you need noise control?
Well, kind of.
Okay.
Flawless production. Flawless production. Let's shut the door. I mean, this is the absolute thrills that you get. You get the sort of behind the scenes of trying to stay quiet in a 17-year-old's house party. I mean, I'm sat here and there's literally there's two lesbians sat in front of me, necking each other. Questions, continue. Flawless production here, Matty. Yes, you've said that. Thank you. What do you think you'll go for as a daily driver? What do you think you'll go for as a daily driver? Saxo or E46? Very, 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 very good question from Peter Taylor there. I think motorway-wise, E46. But I think just city car-wise, like just commuting and the odd motorway trip, Saxo, definitely, all the way. If you're going to be doing massive motorway miles, E46, hence why I bought it. But honestly, like, I survived for years before I bought that E46 just driving the Saxo. So it really depends on what you need. I think as an all-rounder, though, the Saxo, because the E46 was just abysmal on the fuel. And that doesn't make a great daily driver, does it? It really, really doesn't. Yeah, it really, really doesn't. And I'm just trying to... Ladies and gentlemen, that is the third time that the camera has fell off the tripod tonight due to my incompetence. Anyway, we're back. We're back in we're back basically. I don't know how bad I'm going to get, but we'll see. I haven't said anything too bad yet, so we'll see how we carry on. 11 loyal people watching the live stream tonight. Ooh, what have we got? Do you still have the Daewoo Matiz? I never had the Daewoo Matiz, but I think what you're on about is the Chevrolet Matiz. No, the Chevrolet Matiz, my auntie bought brand new in 2008. She then, a good few years later, she gave it to my other auntie. Unfortunately, it was just not unreliable, but it just kept failing MOTs despite doing very, very little mileage every year. So eventually she just gave up and she moved it on. She put it in Partex to a garage and bought a Nissan Micra. So no, I don't still have, or my auntie does not still have that Chevrolet Matiz. But he says, what will you daily drive after those? Oh, if someone's asking what will I daily drive in the future, I've mentioned Lexus IS 200. don't know if that's what you mean. Let me know if I'm talking absolute shite. If that isn't what you mean, let me know. You've got to bear with me. I've had a bit to drink by now, so and it is a very hot and sticky night. So please bear with me. And I haven't had a bifter in like 2 hours. Like if I was doing this in my own house, like I'd be sat outside, I'd be able to smoke. But you can't smoke in Mother Bear's house, can you? So yeah. Sonny the 1865. I hate taking my 106 on the motorway, so I try to avoid them. Going to Goodwood, going to be fun. Goodwood Festival of Speed. You know what? I'd like to go to that, but it really doesn't sound like my sort of thing. Like I just don't know if it's going to be my sort of thing. However, why do you not like taking your 106 on the motorway? Is it just like is it like a you problem, or like do you think like the car wouldn't be able to handle it? Because honestly, like I took my Saxo on the motorway every day, 15 miles or say 10 miles along the motorway every day, and it was fine. Like it was noisy, the noise out of it, but honestly, I think it does a car good to have a little run on the motorway at least once a week. You know what I mean? Philip, there's too much excitement now. Will the battery survive? Will Matty wet himself? Will the house get trashed? Will the camera drop off? You are absolutely right. This is absolutely going to be the description of this video. Next door to my mother's Weight Watchers World office is my dad's sort of room where he can play the guitar and practice. And the young little nippers have taken to playing the guitar and experimenting there. So you just hear the occasional deep voice of a male playing the guitar and the occasional high-pitched scream and laugh of a female, and you may be able to hear a little bit of background noise as well. So honestly, Philip, this is you're absolutely right. This is very, very gripping, exciting content for 10:30 on a Saturday night. I mean, on a Friday night. I mean, what else are you going to be watching? Gogglebox, Graham Norton. It's really not going to be exciting for this. And considering there was only 3 people watching at the very start of this live stream, the fact that we have got 8 people watching now, 16 likes, and we're 2 hours in, I'm absolutely astounded that you are sticking with me. And as I keep saying, as long as you keep asking questions, I will still be here. I'm not going anywhere else. I mean, next door is filled with young adolescents drinking sours and talking Riz apparently. So yes, I will carry on with the questions. Carl GB, he wrote the message in broken English. Okay, then we will move on. Peter Taylor, Carl GB, you're right, haha. But that works as well, Peter Taylor. I think the message made sense, unless I've had too many as well. Are we all drinking? What are we all drinking? Sonny D, 1865. It kills my back after about 2 hours. That big problem, lol. Oh, hang on. What are we on about? The motorway? Are we on a motorway? On about the motorway in a Peugeot 206 and in a Peugeot 106. Are you saying that it kills your back? Probably. The seats aren't supportive in a Saxo, so I'm imagining that the seats aren't supportive in a Peugeot 106. I'm not really sure. I'm watching this live stream now on the iPad with the comments, just so I can understand and gather the comments. But the live stream seems to be awfully behind. Yeah, we'll see what's happening here. Yeah, we haven't got any more comments as of yet. We're very much up to date. I think 10:30 we've gone for 2 hours 30 minutes. I think we're probably, let me know if you think any different, but I think we're probably getting into the end of this live stream now. I mean, if you're watching on catch up, then you are extremely committed for watching 2.5 minutes of this. 2.5 hours of this, especially with all the toilet breaks and charger breaks. 17-year-olds in the background. Sunny D 1865. Yes, especially being 6'1" in an awkward seating position. I'm 6'1", right, and I'm either 6'1" or maybe a bit taller. And honestly, I don't feel uncomfortable in the Saxo. After a while, I feel claustrophobic, but I don't feel uncomfortable. Honestly, I know the seats could be more supportive, but like I'm not that fussed. Like honestly, I could be more uncomfortable than what what I what I am on a long journey. I've driven to London and back in the Saxo as well, for God's sake. So, I am qualified to comment. Um, yeah. I guess I'm secretly 78-year-old man. I mean, if you're 78, if you're 18, if you're 28, it doesn't really matter. Um, if you're 78 though and you've got a 106, then you're pretty cool, to be fair. Yeah, I think it's getting a little bit lively outside. So what we're going to do, we're going to end here. I'll give you a couple of minutes to leave any further comments if there's anybody left that wants to comment. But you can hear the 17-year-olds gathering outside. They've obviously found something intriguing. So, but I can't believe that we're ending on 10 people watching. But nobody's commenting, so it's obviously time to draw it to a close. Yeah, night God bless, guys. Basically, is what I'm saying. I'm going to finish this drink. Any remaining comments, say them now, and then we'll sign out. Philip, thanks for a very entertaining evening, Matty. There's a heart in the way. Hang on. See you at Festival of the Unexceptional. Oh my God, is that another person who's going to come to Festival of the Unexceptional? Honestly, right, Philip, if you want to come to Festival of the Unexceptional, well, obviously you're going. But if you want a pint or anything the night before, or if you just honestly, and I do not stress this enough, I know I'm drunk, but I do not stress enough, just come over and say hiya, because honestly, I will speak to anyone. I will talk to anybody at all. And my friends always, if me and my friends go out for a drink and we have to get a taxi home, they always put me in the front with the taxi driver because I will just talk to the taxi driver about absolutely anything. So, Philip, if you're at Festival of the Unexceptional, come over, say hiya. Can't stress it enough. It would be lovely to see you. Finn Whitworth says, cheers, Matty. Cheers, Finn. Lovely to have you on board as a viewer. All ears, if you want to, if you've got the Instagram, give us a little follow on the gram. What else have we got here? Peter Taylor, thanks for the live stream, Matty. It's absolutely, the pleasure is all mine. Thanks for contributing, Peter. Of course, some great questions in there as well. We've got Lexi here, who hasn't commented ever on my channel, I don't think, and hasn't commented so far tonight, but until now. And Lexi says, great live stream, Matty. Thanks, been looking a while. Been looking a while, low. Been lurking a while. You've been lurking, have you? There we go. Well, nothing wrong with a bit of lurking, is the Lexi. And Sunny D, 1865. Can you hear the 17-year-old getting live? It really is time to end. Who's this? A 17-year-old is walking in. All right, Dom.
What?
I'm just rounding up the live stream on Matty's Cars YouTube channel.
Oh, right.
Is everything okay?
Yeah, well, we ran out of vodka. And I noticed
They've ran out of vodka.
You've got a bottle of something there.
What have I got a bottle of? Could you just give me 2 minutes, Dom? I'm just
Yes.
No problem. These kids stealing the vodka. Why don't they just go on Bella Bevy anyway? And finally, final comment. Sunny D, 1865, been a fun live stream. Wish I could get to photo this year. Photo, so Festival of the Unexceptional this year. But I can't get there, so I'm going to try next year. Well, I'll be there next year. Something. Yeah. think it's getting a little bit rowdy outside, especially if there's kids coming into my room asking for vodka, which I don't have. So yeah, I think it's time to end it there. I've never ended this live stream where there's actually still people remaining watching, but thank you all the same for watching. I'll see you all soon. Thanks for watching. See you soon. Don't know how to end this. Ta-da, ta-da, ta-da.